All right. Welcome, everybody. Promise one of these days I will be ready to go right at 7:30 and jump right in. We're getting there. Okay, so I always like to start the live streams out with a couple of updates. So everyone who watches later or goes back to watch again can see just sort of what's happening. So couple of updates for if you do go to Vegas. So I did talk about how last week the Flamingo is doing their $80-90 million renovations on the property, mainly the floors, the bars, including Bugsy's bar, which I really don't think they should touch, but they're going to. The lobby, the main towers, elevator lobbies. So if you actually do go now, they do have updated the carpets. So the carpets are now updated through most of the Flamingo. Sort of reminds me of the probably late 2000s, like 2009 to 2011 Rio. It looked very much like that. So I'm kind of excited to see what that looks like throughout the whole place. Hey, Beach Bum's here. So that's the first update. The second update, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but if you the Boring Company, they are the ones who do the Vegas Loop. They just got approval last month to start working at and my wife has jumped in. I better make this a clean stream then. But anyway, so the Boring Company got the approval to expand the Vegas Loop. So they're supposedly going to be doing a new loop to include the Harry Reid International Airport. So I don't know if they're going to. They're slated. They said that they could probably get it done by second quarter of 2027. I don't know how that's possible, but they say they can do it. So probably by this time, 2027, you could take one of the Vegas loops from the airport straight down to the convention center. So hopefully that comes to fruition. That'd be nice. It would be a way to obviously get there a little cheaper because I think the fare they're talking about somewhere around the $12 to $15 range. So extremely cheap. Let's see. We've got, if you are going to Vegas right now through the 5th, I know it's not everyone's favorite hotel, but the Strat is having their sale. So if you go midweek or weekend, so midweek it's $49 a night, no resort fees, and it includes a $25 food and beverage credit. If you're going on the weekend, it's $99 a day, no resort fee, again, $25 room charge. So I liked playing at the Strat. The area can be a little questionable at times, but if you want to go and stay somewhere cheap, that is good. Of course, right across the street, the Aztec Inn is probably the cheapest breakfast that you can get. Is it great? No, but a couple of eggs, bacon, toast, and hash browns for $5 kind of hits a spot if you've been gambling all night. Let's see. The other update we've got is if you are a fan of Caesar's shows, they did the disco show that's at the Link. Unfortunately, it didn't do too well, and they announced that it will be ending. So Spiegelworld announced that will be ending soon. Right now, the dates are up in the air, but most likely by probably middle to late January, it will be gone. Now, the diner will still be there. So if you want to sort of go to retro 70s style meals as well as the whole decor, they said that should still be up and operational. I don't know if they're going to change that, but for right now, they said they're not. So if you do get a chance to go there, it's really, really cool. I didn't get to see the show, but I did pop in to look at the diner, and it looked pretty cool. So something you can do. Last thing is, as far as some concerts go, of course, right now, every single year it's a given. Mariah Carey is at the Park MGM. She does her Christmas shows there. That usually goes up until the new year. They actually started last week, so those are going strong. J-Lo is going to be performing at the Coliseum. I believe those dates they said were, per my notes, December, January, and she's coming back for a 2-week run in March. No Doubt actually is doing their first residency. That is in May. Most of their dates have not been announced yet, but they do expect to be there at least through 13 shows. So that is something, if you do like that 90s era, might be a pretty good show to check out. And then right now, December and January, Zach Brown Band is going to be at the Sphere as well. So that would be kind of cool. And then Leona Lewis is over at the Voltaire, which is over at the Venetian. So those are a couple of acts that are coming. So if you do sort of want to plan a night out, check something out besides whatever's going on that you normally do. Again, I've never been to the Sphere outside of just walking around. So those are pretty cool. So feel free to check those out. Again, that goes with my updates for this week. I guess we're going to wait for some more people to jump in. But so I wanted to kind of share my story. Did end up going to the casino, and luckily went in with $60 plus a little bit of free play, and ended up turning it into right around $300. Just playing what I normally play. I did end up playing a little bit bigger bets. That wasn't really a strategy. It was just I got up about $100 and thought I'll start betting a little bigger just to sort of see, and got extremely lucky with some first spin bonuses, as well as some kind of decent line hits. Now, I do want to stress that always pay attention. There was one game I sat down, the Turtle game, and did really good at, but I didn't realize that I had been betting, instead of $150, I was betting $15 a spin because I was on the 10-cent denom. Did not realize that. Luckily, the first spin hit for $60. So then I kind of looked at my thing and realized, why am I losing a little bit more money on a couple of spins? Figured out that's why. So again, make sure you do sit down. You look at the denoms you are playing. Just because the front screen looks like it's on 1 cent, once you start putting in your money to play, it can sometimes revert back to the last session that someone was physically on, because they do reset in between certain amount of time. They'll reset to what they call a demo mode, so it can be a little confusing. Worked out this time for me, but I can attest that there have been times in the past where, especially in Vegas, I'm not paying attention, and I think I'm doing 75-cent bets, and I'm actually doing like $12 to $15. So just be careful about that. So the next announcement that I'm going to be making is my next live event for actual play in the casino. Still working on the dates. My original plan was to actually go to the Jack Casino again right after Christmas. They do allow filming there, and they allow live streaming. I asked my wife to check her dates because I kind of want to go out and check a couple other casinos out, especially ones that do allow live streaming. So that way I can do a live stream, I can film and put it together as a vlog as well. And there aren't a lot that do allow you to do that outside of Jack's and a couple others, unless you do go through the process of getting written permission. And that can take anywhere between a couple of months to a year on some places. And that's if they even allow it at all. So because MGM does have an open policy with filming, again, as long as you don't film other patrons, you aren't filming, while you eat without permission from the restaurant, things like that. You can do live streams, you can film. So since unfortunately right now the flights to Vegas are extremely expensive, even though I can stay there for free. My wife is right. There's no point in spending $800 per person on a flight out there for just 2 days. We are hopefully going to be driving to MGM Grand Detroit. It's just a little bit over a 3-hour drive for us, and it will be, because of my play with MGM, it's not free, but the rooms are extremely cheap. So I thought I could do that, do some live streaming, and really be able to sort of settle into what I would normally do in Vegas, which gives me a chance to play a little bit smarter, because I'm not trying to go in for a couple of hours get some footage, try to be as entertaining as I can, which means typically I might do bigger bets because I do want people to sort of see me. I mean, that's why I'm going live. So this gives me a chance to sort of ease into it a little bit and have some fun. I will be announcing those dates shortly. Again, it's completely contingent upon what my wife can do because I do not want to do this without her. My first live did not go extremely well, but the banter between the both of us made it extremely entertaining for me, which let me be a little more loose. And that's kind of something I'd like to sort of do again. Plus, she's a lot better looking than me, so it would be a much better face for the channel, at least on those lives. Yeah, I'm hoping to. I was talking to Motor City over on TikTok, and they have agreements with Hollywood Casino Greektown, but they told me that it took them a long time to do it. They said Toledo is really, really welcoming. However, they don't have a hotel attached, and I'm not really a fan of Toledo. If you are from Ohio and you do drive through northern and northeastern Ohio, especially in the wintertime, it's not great. So I really don't want to sort of drive, even if it's just a few miles away, because I've been caught in snowstorms before up there, and it's not fun. Shh. No, we don't want that on the channel. We don't listen to her. She's right, but no, don't listen to her. Thanks for the backup. So that's sort of what's been going on. Next live, I will have a final update on that. I am still praying somehow that either I get some last-minute points with my Delta card that I could sort of work out a trip to Vegas for 2 or 3 days. But again, I'm not foreseeing those prices dropping to the point where I feel comfortable, regardless of the fact that I do have completely comped food, meals, and gambling. So we'll see. But I should have an update by next Sunday as far as what and where we're going. So please stay tuned for that. The last live was amazing. We had, I think, close to 12,000 people that watched. So I am up to a little over 330 subscribers now. So I believe I can have up to almost 800 people at a time watching now. So obviously people have to filter in and out, which it's a live. They do. So that should help the viewership go up quite a bit. My casino won't let me live stream in a Hard Rock for Lardo. You have to have a larger following. Could you expand on that? Like, did they specifically tell you, like, this is how much of a following you need? Because that's really, really good information for me and for anybody else that watches, so that we kind of get an idea of what are they saying besides just, well, we just don't allow it. So if you can and you don't mind posting that again, that way, if you have an answer to that, I can put that up to the screen for everybody, because I'd be really interested to see what is the criteria to do that. That is right. I mean, my wife is right. God, I say that. She always is. But, yeah, you would think, I mean, outside of Vegas, the casinos are really basically local casinos. I mean, yes, you have your ones that are like Hard Rock because people are always traveling into Florida. You have some of the larger ones, like I can see Detroit, because people will go into Canada through there, or they're traveling through Chicago as well. The Joliet one is one that I think me and Kendra are going to go check out on the holiday at the end of May. So you sort of, it's near Chicago, it's in Joliet. So, but you would think that if there are people who are going to highlight your restaurants, they're going to show your rooms, they're going to show what type of selection of games you have, and they're going to give their honest opinions on stuff, you would think that they would be open to what she said was completely free marketing. They don't have to get a commercial. They don't have to hire people for photos or videos. They don't have to pay for the extra web storage to host that information. So it would be kind of dumb not to, but unfortunately, outside of Vegas, not a lot of places really care. So I don't know, but yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. You should be able to go in there. Now, I think there should be a limit on that as far as you shouldn't, and that's why, unfortunately, some of my lives are a little dull because I'm putting my phone down and you just see the carpet, because I don't want to film other people. Again, you're there, you're having fun, you're trying to gamble. The last thing you want to do is worry about, am I going to show up on some Yahoo's YouTube feed? And again, you're in the public, so there's no expectation of privacy, but you're also there. So I could see as a casino going, well, we don't want them not to come because they don't want to be worried about showing up somewhere. So I kind of get that, but I think there is a balance we can make. We can easily find some sort of middle ground to allow people to do that. I think luckily it's starting to move a little bit more to that. Some other casinos, regionally ones, are allowing it. Boyd is very, very good at allowing that. There are a couple of Boyd casinos in Indiana. Just at this time of year, I don't really want to risk a late December drive for 3.5, 4 hours through that part of Indiana just because the snow can come from anywhere. I don't want to get stranded somewhere. But that is one I'll probably check out because they do allow it at Boyd. Of course, down in Vegas, it really started with El Cortez and some of the other hotels that were wanting people to come in and play. So they became very, very streamer friendly. And that drove in tourists because they could see what the El Cortez looks like. And by the way, if you haven't been to the El Cortez since they did the update last year, I would highly recommend going. It is very, very heavy in the high volatility slots, but they usually do. They are one of the top 3 casinos that usually get the new games first. It's usually El Cortez, the M Resort, which I don't know why they get them a lot sooner, but M Resort in Las Vegas, as well as the Wynn. They usually get their games a lot faster. But typically, El Cortez would be the first place you would see some of these games actually go live to play. Plus, their new bars are amazing. It's gorgeous. They did a really, really good job. So I would highly recommend going there. It's not one of my favorite places to play. I may only play there for a few minutes here and there, but it is something to check out. Yeah. So those are all my updates. So I was hopefully we got more people coming in. I do know I did get some information that people were going to start streaming in here shortly. So hopefully we're not going to have me just rambling on for 45 minutes. But Beatron, if you can let us know if they did give you sort of, oh, did you put that in there? Oh, maybe you did update. Sorry. Sorry, I missed that. So for the Lauderdale casinos, no, I'll have to get the information from Johnny Slots. Okay. All right, because I'd like to sort of hear what's that criteria. I think the Tampa Hard Rock doesn't care. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So anybody else who wants to go there, obviously be polite. If you are approached, be nice and just say, well, I thought we were allowed to do this. If I'm not, what are the steps to allow me to do that? And then, so my casino, I had to get permission and I have to submit a form every time I want to film, but they won't allow live streaming. Okay. Well, I mean, at least they're going to let you film. That's kind of half the battle. I wanted to do my filming because I do think there is a market out there for people to play the way I do. Typically 70, 80 cents to maybe $1, $1.25, maybe $1.50 if I'm really pressing it with my budget. So more and more people could see that, yeah, it's fun to watch the videos. It's fun to watch the hand pays. It's great to sort of think that could happen to you. I've had a couple hand pays before, and it's exciting as hell, but I think there should be more channels that sort of show that you don't have to necessarily bet that amount in order to make something like that happen. So we'll see. I'm on a bad luck streak. Well, you were on a hell of a good luck streak like last month. So, I mean, what, 3 majors and then a grand off of one of the highest volatility slots there is? That's pretty good. So, but yeah, we're all going to have those streaks. I had that. God, it seemed like October, right until I took the break in November. It was just, you take your money to the casino and just nothing. Just nothing would happen. You just put your money in and just take a ticket out for 25 cents. That's just, I mean, but that's how it goes. That's why it's really important. That's why I took a break for a couple weeks, because I forgot that sometimes it's going to happen. And I think it's harder on me. I know it's going to be harder on you and other people who do stream. I think F and up slots. I've talked to them about this before as well, I believe. And it's harder on us because we're not just people who go to the casino. We're the people who are showing you the slots. And right now in the YouTube algorithm, I would love, that's why I've started to put together a little bit more of a longer form video so people can see going into the bonus. They can see some play after the bonus. So they get kind of a feel of the game. But even the one game where I hit over $200 and it was a great bonus, a really cool game, I'm only getting 40, 50 views on it. But if it's a short, then I'm getting 1,000 to 2,000 views on it. So the algorithm is so different now to where everyone just wants a 2 to 3 minute video. That's all the attention they have for it. So all you can show are bonuses. And I mean, it's great. I mean, I like the eyeballs on it, but I would really like to get back to being able to sit down at a machine and go, okay, guys, this is what we're typically going to expect for this. Here, I'm putting in $50. We're going to play from start to finish, so that everybody can sort of see. Let's all pray and hope for a bonus, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Yeah, December. My December last week wasn't good. This week was. Now, I don't think probably it's going to happen, but we'll see. Yeah, that's a really good rule. I try to do 1% to 2% myself as well. Again, it depends on the machines I'm playing. If it's more higher volatility, I may stretch it to 2% of my budget, just because I know it really only takes that wolf to come out or those hats to drop for something to happen. But if I'm playing sort of your medium to lower volatility slots, I stick to my 1% because I want to stay in the game longer. I do know that slow and steady is great, but I'm hoping on that one magical hit, like when I hit on the 1,000 credits for top dollar when I was just sort of playing around doing nothing. So yeah, shorts do better. It didn't used to be that way. I think my first couple of videos did pretty well, and they were longer form videos. But man, you get anything over 3.5 minutes that you can't put into a short or cut it down right, no one really watches it. So I'm still going to try my best. I think I've got 2 more videos coming out, just to sort of show, because they were longer bonuses on some newer games. The one is the new, if you guys do remember Mystical Unicorn, it's been in the casinos for, God, almost 2 decades now. It's the one, of course, where the line pays suck, but you're waiting on the unicorn. You're waiting for them all to drop on each reels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They came out with a new one. It's Mystical Unicorn Wheel. So it's your 3 bonus symbols, but then you spin a wheel for different types of bonuses. And that one went pretty well. It didn't hit super big, but it was quite entertaining. So I'll put that one out as 2. I'll try to condense it to a short, but I'll have to play with CapCut to do that, but I want to sort of show some of those games. Exactly. My goals have fun and hopefully to win, but I know. But that's probably the best attitude to have is I want to go and have fun. Yeah, would it be nice to win? Sure. No one wants to go somewhere and give them their money and not have fun, but it is entertainment. So a beach bum, that's exactly the type of attitude I think anyone or everyone should have when they go. So kudos. I think we would all be in a better spot if people realized that this was just entertainment. Those Matt in Vegas, Ruby Slots, all those other ones, Pompey, all those other slot channels that they show those videos of, oh, I just won big on this, but that's why I think it's important to have a couple videos that show the full play of the game, because you don't necessarily see. Sure, they won $10,000, but you don't see the $5,000-$6,000 worth of spins they did in order to win that 10,000. So I do think Vegas Matt, it doesn't do it a whole lot, but he does every once in a while. Jason, Mr. Handpay, has been showing a little bit more of those types of long form videos that do show all of his play. So hats off to him for doing that. Not a lot of people at his level of over 1 million subscribers would sort of show that. But again, he's betting so high that, $10, $15, $20,000 into a slot machine is nothing to him. You're going to expect to hit. And when you're betting at those levels, see, I was going to do a video on this, but it's sort of like that, these guys are always hitting hand pays, and you look at it like, well, yeah, when you're betting $100 a hand or $100 a spin, even a halfway decent bonus is an automatic hand pay. I mean, so it's just doing the math of going back and going, okay, well, he won $5,000. Well, yeah, but if he did 100 spins, if he's putting 10 grand in to win that, he's still down 5 grand. So I think there's a balance to being entertaining as well as being informative. Now, there's no dig on Eric at all on that, or Jackpot Judo, who does a lot of that, which his content's amazing. There's no dig on him or Jason or the other ones, because they're not there to educate. They're there just to show you their play. So they're not the problem, but I think a lot of people think that way. And that's why it's important. There are some channels out there who do that. Yeah, fun coupons. I do. You've mentioned that on a lot of your videos, and that's really a really, really cool thing. Fun coupons. I will not steal it, but I want to. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. If you think that way, yes, you're right. You just won 627 times your bet. That is extremely rare. And think about it that way. If you go to invest your money and you put $1 in and it turns into 627 that same day, that's pretty damn impressive. You would love those type of odds, but yeah, you're right. So hopefully I'll have an update on MGM Detroit. I am kind of excited. They have a couple of restaurants there that look really good. They do have a spa there, which means my wife Kendra can go to one of those, so that way she's not so bored as she watches me sit at a slot machine for a couple of hours. Not really excited about having to have to pay for my drinks again, because only Vegas really does that. So, but it is what it is. It should be fun. I've already taken a look at some of the videos as well as reviews of the rooms, and the rooms look they look comparable to, I want to say, the newer updated rooms at MGM Grand. Nice, comfy beds. they all look pretty big. I think they're around 500 square feet on average. So that's pretty big. I think the typical average square foot of room in Vegas is 400. So that could be pretty big. So hopefully I'll have an update. I'm excited. I'd like to go there and be able to settle in and play for a while, but we'll see. I'll join her. Well, going into that, so when I update those notes, again, I know I'm going to do an open invitation to Motor City slots because they are there. We actually were talking back and forth before my account got banned this year, back in August. I was going to try and meet them on the Strip, but it just ended up not working out, unfortunately. I had a pretty busy schedule trying to film for my vlog, as well as hanging out with some two really good friends, Kelly and Steve, and the days kind of got away from me, and I was barely able to make it to the video with Avi, Casino Jackpot 777. And it only really happened because he was nice enough to kind of wait on me to get there. My original plan was to try and meet him later in the afternoon so I could sit at Circa all day and have a couple beers and watch OSU, Ohio State Buckeyes, play Texas. Go Bucks, because we beat them. But he texted me and said, "Hey, man, we've got some plans this afternoon. When can you get here?" And I literally grabbed my stuff from the room, finished the checkout process from Golden Nugget, grabbed a cab all the way down to Flamingo. And then because for some reason the cabs were just fucking crazy, I literally ran like down the boulevard, through Cosmo, through all the way through that, popped out at New York, crossed the bridge over to Excalibur, and then went from there. So I think I made the walk in like literally 20 minutes from Flamingo to Luxor, which is pretty impressive. But he was nice enough to stop everything to sort of wait on me. So, but it would be nice if Motor City is there. I know they play at Greektown a lot. And I believe they mentioned Firebirds and some other ones we were talking earlier today. If they are in there, I'd like to invite them to see if maybe they want to come and do a video together, or at the very least hang out. The main thing I want to get out of this channel is to be able to have everybody sort of come in, hang out for the day. And then, we all share our channel informations. We all sort of hang out. But I think it'd be a lot of fun to sort of hang out offline with a lot of the same people who like the same games, who go to Vegas, who share the same mentalities as far as gambling, because there's a lot of other channels out there I've noticed, especially in the past couple of years, where it's very much, and I get it, it's very much sort of, well, we want our channel to get as big as possible. So that means we'll do whatever it takes, whether that means taking ideas from other people, whether that means, editing their videos in a flashy way, or, not wanting to collaborate with anybody unless, they have to be way bigger than me in order for me to collaborate with them, kind of thing, because it's sort of like I want to leech off of them a little bit. So, I mean, I think it's more important to sort of find that community of people who like the same things. You can have, like we were going for a half an hour, have those conversations on a live and talk back and forth. I know me and Beach Bum have talked all the time on TikTok back and forth, just because we share the same sort of games we like, or she likes the games that I hate, but we both have the same sort of experience with slots. So I think it's more important to find that group of people that you sort of resonate with. And that's why I'd like to hopefully be able to meet up with Motor City if that trip does come to fruition. Maybe they can give me some pointers on where else to play. I'd like to check out Greektown if I could. But again, it's going to be dependent on the weather as well. I mean, if it's Detroit at the end of December, so it's a lot like Cleveland. So, I mean, you can have a nice day, but that snow or some really shitty weather can kick up in a heartbeat, and it can come out of nowhere. And I don't really want to get stuck somewhere I've never been before or driven through before when that happens. You're going to need to explain that. Yeah, I get why everyone likes Dragon Link. It is a very simple game in the sense that it's 3 bonus symbols or my 6 orbs. That's really it. And it is a game that is hard to get those bonuses. It's hard to get those orbs, but it's also one of those games where I think when you look at the grand scheme, if you watch sort of slot videos, when you think of hitting a major, it's usually on Dragon Link or Lightning Link. Those are the two that you think of just because it happens more frequently on those. Now, it's not because you're more likely to, it just means you have Dragon Link and Lightning Link. You have what? Lightning Link, there are 8 or 9 iterations of it. And then Dragon Link, you have, I think, 13 total different games. So you just have all of those games with all those people playing. It's going to happen more often. I mean, that's just math. Whereas, Firelink is coming up on that. They have quite a bit as well. Good God, they just came out with another Huff and Puff game. It's now got a wheel, and I don't even remember what it's called. But that is literally the fourth new Huff and Puff released in 12 months. So I am just shocked that they're spitting it out like that, because normally a slot maker will put out one game and see how it goes. They might release a second version of it based off of how the first versions played, or it went really good in another market, so they want to introduce it somewhere else. But 4 versions, you got Huff and Puff Grand, you've got Huff and Puff We've Had Enough, you got Huff and Even More Puff with something, which has got the three new scam pots where you've got the 3 different things that can trigger. And then you've got the other one, which is sort of similar to that. It's got the wheel, and it's sort of like that, the other 3 real version of Huff and Puff. So 4 of them in a year is just fucking insane to be putting out that much. Boo. Yeah, there is no, but God, we got 5.5 inches last night. Jesus. And you can win the grand at 50 cents, where some games qualify. That's a very, very, very good point. There are a lot of games where you have to play a certain amount in order to hit the grand, or even be eligible for it. Dragon Link and Lightning Link, you don't. Good example of that is I was sitting next to a guy a couple of weeks ago before I went on my ban for myself, and I was on Heartthrob, which is a game that I like to play for the bonus, just because that's a rare one where you get the diamonds to line up. They're all ×2 on a bonus round that's already ×2. So even a minor hit of even like sort of your middle of the road symbol, if you've got 3 or 4 rows of diamonds behind that, it can be a massive win. And it tends to happen a little more frequently. It happens more frequently than Autumn Moon, but not as frequently as like Golden Century. So, but he was sitting next to me at the Kentucky Derby one, because I actually did a video on it that I'll be putting out probably today or tomorrow, where I hit pretty good on a dollar bet. But he was playing 50 cents on a maxed out major, and my God, he hit the major. He ended up getting $1,187, just under a hand pay, and he was paying 50 cents. So it's absolutely possible. That is a reason why I do think those games are good too. I agree. I have hit pretty big playing on 50 cents as well from time to time. Firelink's another one where I've hit $300-400 on a bonus, and I was betting 50 cents. So it is 100% possible on those. And you're right, it is a little bit more likely on those games because the game maker does not handicap you, meaning, yes, you're less likely to hit a major, you're less likely to hit a grand, but least likely is next to nothing on these games, where they turn the RTPs and everything just within a fraction of a percentage between each other. So it can, I mean, again, it's gambling. It just takes that one magical spin, that one, lucky day out of lucky days that you've never had in your life, and it happens. We had enough. Now, I do have to admit, I know I make fun of that. I did kind of like the new Huff and Puff. We've had enough. That version of it is okay. It's still extremely volatile as hell. The line pays are a little bit less than Huff and Even More Puff, which is by my calculations the best one to play, just because it's a good combination of, you do expect, and you can, if you get, especially in the mansions with the full screen of them, up to 30 of them, you can get a massive hit. But the line pays themselves are typically, that's kind of the nice medium form. The line hits are still okay, to where if you do get like a whole bunch of the rulers, it's usually going to be double to triple your bet back. So it helps sort of with a little bit of ammunition. This one was a little bit lower on your, as far as your line hits. I think I got all of the traffic cones on all the reels, so about 8 or 9 of them. And it was, I think, 70 cents. So it wasn't very good, but it is one where if it's an advantageous part to play, I would play it. Just because the way the reels reset, you have on the Huff and Even More Puff, you can activate one reel by just getting 3 hats in a row. Then the bonus round starts. You don't have to wait on 6 of them to come in. And you can have multiple active reels going, so you can have a bonus on reel 1, 2 or 3 spins later, you get another bonus on reel 5, and you've only gotten 3 hats. So I think that is good. I have never experienced a buzzsaw bonus. I might want to check that out, but I will probably wait until I'm on the next live to check those out, because I'll have a little bit of a larger budget than the typical, $80 to $100 I take to the casino every week to play on, which will give me a little bit more chance to explore the game and see what it's really like, and see if that's something I want to keep playing on. But that's probably a talk for another live. My favorite bonus is on Rake and Bacon. Love it when it's always bacon. That is one I walk by. I have played it twice, and it has wrecked me. I mean, it was one of those ones where I got those coins and it looked like something was going to happen. I think I got some sort of weird shake thing going on with the game, and then it spit out a halfway decent line hit, but nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. So that's one of those games where I might want to try it again, but the few times I've sat down to play it, nothing has happened on that game. So I've seen other people do really well on it. The bonus looks extremely entertaining. It's nothing that I've ever done. I got a full screen of mansions once. That's when I started playing. Thought that meant I won the grand. I did that too when I first started playing it. I was like, oh my God, they're all there. No. But no, I mean, in that sort of, I think a lot of the games nowadays, it is sort of, if you fill the screen, you win the grand, and you expect, oh my God, just fill the screen up. But no, and it's trickier when you play the free games, where it's like the free games, and then you can also get like the Panda hold and spin. And if you get really super lucky, I'm so pissed that my phone did not work. I got one of those rare hold and spins, but I got the weird like 60 screens where you have 60 slots. And I think I filled up 52 of them. Pretty decent bonus. Like, I think I was only playing $1 a bet. I think I ended up getting like 130 out of it. But yeah, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to hit the again if I get 30 spots filled up, because it's on 2 screens. But no, it was, you, in order to be eligible, the way they split it was like the full grand was if you fill up the whole screen. But if you fill up half the screen, it's like a lesser grand. Now the game I just put out the on the cash thing with the giant turtle was cool because if you get to the jackpot bonus, and you get row 1, 2, and they all connect sort of like your money ball. And then in row 3, there's like a times 2, 3, 4, and a 5x. If it triggers on that, you could technically hit the grand, which I think at the time was $11,000, or no, it was $6,000. But if you had gotten it times 4, that means your grand is now $24,000. So that was kind of a cool thing. I hit the mini for 10, but it times it by 3. So it's sort of one of those weird things of that would be a weird outlier to hit. Like, oh my God, I hit the grand, and then holy shit, it's times 3. So they probably do something to never let that happen, but I guess it could happen. Excuse me. Yeah, I would be too. But yeah, so I mean, I think we'll go ahead and start wrapping that up. I think Effing Up was supposed to jump on, but they probably got a little busy. I know they've been doing a lot of things. So I appreciate you guys jumping on, Beach Bum and my wife. It is good banter back and forth. I will do my best to try and see if we can get some more people in next week. Now, next week will probably be very short, 15, 20-minute live. Just have updates on Vegas as well as updates on my live. Again, if you're watching this later, and I do end up going live in Detroit and you are in the area, please feel free to stop by. My wife can attest I'm one of those people where I'm having more fun if other people are having fun. So, if you're someone that likes to sort of hang out, talk slots, talk Vegas, gambling, whatever, you want to jump on a live, or you want to just sort of maybe do a little dueling between the two of us for fun, please feel free to stop by. I'll have those updates as soon as possible. Again, thank you everybody for jumping on this live with me, and I will hopefully see you guys all next week. I was lucky enough, so I'm going to be getting probably about another 5 or 6 videos coming out this week, sort of in anticipation of my live for some of the really, really good bonuses that I got, as well as showing off some of those games. Like I was saying earlier, the Mystical Unicorn was actually really, really good. So I'll put some of those out shortly. And then, as always, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I do try my best to read those later, so that way I can have a little more information to give out, something that you are wanting to learn about. All right. Well, and I'm also waiting on Beach Bum to get back to me with what he says as far as what the criteria is. I think that's really good information for people to know going in. If my channel is X amount of people, I mean, maybe. Again, my channel's small. It's like 334 people, 140-some thousand views on the channel. So it's probably nowhere near allowed enough for that. But it'd be nice if they gave us a benchmark of, we want you at X amount of videos, X amount of followers. So that way, at least we know, is it something I should strive for? Or is it something to where there's no way I'm going to hit that mark? So, all right. Well, good night, everybody. I do appreciate everybody for jumping in. If you do jump in later, please feel free to drop all your information. My wife is saying good night. Please feel free to drop in your information on your TikTok or YouTube channels. Those are 100% okay to do, as well as in my lives, especially if I do get lucky enough to have 5, 10, 15,000 people watching. Please drop in your channel information. If anything, I can get other people to check you out. That would be great. You guys have a good night, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye.